Hi there. So I was finally going to give the Ninzia's Protein Crackers a go. Um, my wife tried them earlier today, and she wasn't so thrilled with the taste. She added some garlic powder and salt and liked it a lot better. It is extremely healthy. Um, for people who can read Japanese, they can take a look at that. It is made up exclusively, apparently, of oats, pumpkin seeds, sesame, chickpeas, salt, and konnyaku. In a YouTube short earlier, I said it was konnyaku based, but Ninzia's entire line of foods is based on making delicious, well, hopefully delicious, making very healthy things with a yam base, a konnyaku base. But before I open that up, what do you think of my t-shirt? I love interesting t-shirts. I love Doctor Who. I actually had this t-shirt made. I probably should pay something to BBC. They didn't have a t-shirt that I wanted that said what I wanted to. So I had my own made, which is just about the nerdiest thing one can imagine. But this is from the Matt Smith iteration of Doctor Who. And he said, we're all stories in the end, just make it a good one. And I think that's a really powerful statement, a really important statement. And there are so many interesting quotes from Doctor Who that kind of resonate with me as a nerd, but also as someone who likes to think about philosophy and existential questions. I've actually used Doctor Who in a great number of pedagogical contexts. I use episodes to discuss Shakespeare, to discuss various storytelling styles, to discuss allyship and inclusion. It's just a really wonderful show, and I know it became controversial among those who weaponize the concept of wokeness in a way that I don't approve of. There's nothing wrong with wanting visibility and respect and authentic representation for minority groups. But somehow, in the reactionary right-wing pendulum swing that has happened in America and Europe and other places, Japan, where I'm located as well, it is seen as threatening the status quo, threatening hegemony of the powers that be, and so on, when it just wants to do good storytelling. And it's always done good storytelling. It's as bad as people who say that Star Trek is now woke. Star Trek was always progressive. And it's kind of painful for me when people take something that I think is beautiful and they try to make it into something that is ugly. People get angry, for example, that Snow White is played by a woman of color. Why? Why do you care? So much of world history has been whitened over time. Do you really think 3rd century Greek, Turkish resident Nicholas of Myra was perfectly Nordic-looking Santa Claus? I don't think so. Or Jesus, a 1st century Palestinian Jew would not be blue-eyed as he's almost always depicted. So the whole world has been whitened with the, recent centuries flow of history. So who cares if Snow White is Hispanic or Hermione is black or Snape is black? The idea that someone gets angry about that is ridiculous to me. Anyways, I digress. We're all just stories in the end. Make it a good one. This is from the Matt Smith Doctor from Peter Capaldi. I quite like always try to be nice, never fail to be kind, never cowardly, never cruel. These are all adages which I would want children to learn, much more than violent rhetoric that we see these days. But anyways, I digress within my segues, so that is my style. Anyways, let's take a look at Ninzia's Protein Crackers and see if I like them any more than my wife did. My wife was not super impressed. If something is super healthy, if something has no additives for flavor or special preservatives, it tends to have quite a bland taste. But let me give it a shot. This is a very Japanese gesture. When people don't want to show themselves chewing. Very polite, actually. I think I like it quite a bit more than my wife does. I think it's grainy. It's dry. It might be better if you dip it in salsa. I'm sure it's delicious the way my wife prepared it with garlic powder and salt, especially if she used one of the really good salts that she has. I'm sure it's fabulous that way. But I can see myself eating this. I think people have become accustomed to so much flavor. I haven't had a Dorito in decades, I don't think. But when I was a child, I ate way too many Doritos. And I think it kind of messes with your palate eating so many artificial flavors. And one becomes accustomed to always needing intense flavor for everything. And this is really, I like it. I'm going to ask my wife to order more. So, sorry if that was too political. My comments on why I don't care if Santa is not white. Why I was delighted that Doctor Who, in his most recent iteration, was a man of color, an immigrant, and a member of the LGBTQ. I was delighted by all that. I was inspired. And people who get angry, people who want Doctor Who only to look like Tom Baker, people who only want Snow White to look like Julia Roberts, I think they got to get over it. I don't think Tom Baker would want other Doctor Who's to look like Tom Baker. Anyways, be kind to others. Happy training, happy wandering through life. Buy these. It's actually quite good. This is their website here. I've got up at the same time. It's all in Japanese. Oh, they do have an English. I wonder how good the English translation is. In my earlier YouTube short, I just used Google Translate to translate the About section. But unlocking food freedom through texture engineering technology. Come to think of it, I like the texture of this. It feels nice on my tongue. It's very pleasant, and it's grainy, but I didn't make a mess of myself. My black t-shirt is not covered now in brown crumbs, so I quite like that. But anywho, oh yeah, this is proper translation. I mean, it might not be done by a human, but it's much better than the Google Translate that I did. So anyways, check it out if it is in your wheelhouse to try such things, or if you want to expand what your type of thing is, I recommend it. I quite liked it a lot. Thank you so much. It's hard for me to say goodbye. When I make videos for my students, I often say goodbye like 5 times. When I'm actually out with coffee for friends, my wife will look at me because I said goodbye 25 minutes earlier. I'm of Irish descent, and it's really famous that an Irish goodbye is sneaking out without saying goodbye. But somehow my own interpretation of that is saying goodbye 15 times without leaving. But anyways, I will actually take my leave now.